You're not here for another tired list of tricks. You're here because part of you refuses to play the ordinary game. And somewhere deep inside, you know this truth. The man who makes noise fades, but the man who holds silence burns into memory. Most men try too hard. They show off, impress, over-explain, and lose themselves in the process. This isn't about giving her attention. It's about something quieter, something colder. One move so calm, so grounded, so emotionally untouchable that it forces her to lean in, forces her to wonder, forces her to submit without realizing why. And when you embody this, she can't manipulate you, and she can't forget you. So stay exactly where you are. Because what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about masculine power. And when this video ends, you won't need to prove anything ever again. Let's begin. 1. The power of doing absolutely nothing when she expects everything. Every guy falls into this trap. She throws a test, a sarcastic jab, a cold shoulder, a passive-aggressive comment. Most men react immediately. What's wrong? Did I do something? Come on, let's talk about it. That's what she expects. That's what every guy does. But you're about to become different. See, words fail, gifts fade, even passion loses its grip. But presence lasts. And the moment you break the pattern, when you don't chase, don't explain, don't defend, that's when you stand out. You hold the line. No reaction. Calm, collected, slight smile. And suddenly, she's the one feeling uncertain. Why? Because mystery creates tension, and tension fuels attraction. She's used to men needing her approval. She's used to guys scrambling to fix things. But when you don't, when you stay rock solid, it flips everything. And here's the key. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about discipline. It's about freedom. The Stoics taught this. Freedom begins with restraint. You don't stay calm because you're afraid. You stay calm because you're free. Free from her reactions, free from needing her validation, free from being pulled into her emotional test. This one move, this non-move, is where all your power lives. She can't define you. She can't predict you. She can't control you. And that's why she won't be able to forget you. And here's where it gets even more powerful. Because when you master holding your frame in silence, the next move isn't standing still. It's walking away without a word. That's where we go next. 2. The silent exit that drives her crazy. There's a kind of silence that cuts deeper than any argument. And it's not weakness, it's self-respect. Once you've mastered holding your frame, the next level of masculine power is simple but rare. You leave. You leave when her attention feels like a game. You leave when her texts get cold, her presence feels strategic, and her energy shifts from genuine to calculated. She wants you to ask, what's wrong? She wants to see you off balance, guessing, chasing. But you don't. You just leave. No anger, no drama, no messages, no closure. You exit quietly, with peace. And here's why that works. To a woman who expects emotional fireworks, your silence is a thunderclap. It shakes the ground she thought was secure. She thought she had control over your reactions. But when you disappear, you break her pattern, and suddenly she's rewriting her script. Most men, when they feel neglected, panic. They beg for attention. They over-explain. They hand over their dignity, trying to win her back. But not you. You value your peace more than her confusion. Your presence is too valuable to waste in spaces that don't honor it. Marcus Aurelius said it perfectly. The best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the injury. In relationships, that means you don't match her games. You don't explain your worth. You let your absence highlight it. It may take her minutes. It may take days. But trust this, your silence will echo in her mind far longer than your words ever could. She'll start asking herself, why did he stop? Did I push too far? Did I just lose something I didn't even realize I had? And at that moment, you've transformed from a man who needed her into a man she now needs to understand. Here's what most men don't get. Walking away isn't punishment, it's protection. It's not about teaching her a lesson, it's about protecting your soul. You refuse to fight for space in a world that's trying to shrink you. When you disappear, with no explanation, you send a message louder than words. I am not here to be tolerated. I am here to be chosen. And if I'm not, I choose myself. This isn't detachment. This is depth. This isn't manipulation. This is masculine maturity. Because in the absence of your voice, she begins to hear your value. And if she's the right one, she comes back different. If not, your silence saved you from years of emotional noise. Before we move on, think about this. If you walked away today from someone playing games with you, would they chase you back or just move on? Drop your honest answer in the comments right now. And if this is already opening your eyes, hit that like button too. Let's see how many of you are ready to choose yourself. 3. The delay that makes her want you more. Look around. Everyone is addicted to instant replies. Most guys, they text back instantly. They rearrange their entire day the second she shows interest. They skip workouts, cancel plans, lose sleep, just to be available. And what happens? They become predictable, convenient, replaceable. But when you make her wait, not out of arrogance but because your time matters, you flip the dynamic. Suddenly she's wondering, where is he? Who's he with? Why isn't he replying right away? That's when mystery begins. And mystery is what creates attraction. This isn't a game, it's a shift in energy. When you slow down, when you don't rush to accommodate, you show her something far more powerful than affection, self-discipline. A man who doesn't rush isn't chasing approval. He's chasing his goals, his mission, his own standard of living. And women feel that, even if they won't say it directly, they know. A man who doesn't urgently respond isn't sitting by his phone. He's building, he's moving, he's choosing. Seneca understood this perfectly. He who is everywhere is nowhere. In modern dating, that means if you're always available, you become invisible. So teach her, not with words but behavior, that your time is sacred. When she texts, you don't ignore, but you respond later, calmly, on your time. When she wants to meet, you don't cancel your workout or your mission. You say, I'm free later, let's talk then. You're not ghosting, you're reframing. You're no longer the guy chasing her. You're the man she has to qualify for. And when she waits for you, she values you more. So here's a real test. Could you wait? Could you calmly delay and trust she'll lean in harder? Would you have that discipline? If you know this already applies to you, drop "I value my time" in the comments right now. And hit like if you're realizing why patience makes you powerful. Because here's the truth. When you delay, not to punish, but because you have priorities, you stop being a distraction and you become a reward. 4. Say no and watch her chase. Every guy gets tested at some point. It could be subtle. Can you cancel your plans for me? Can you just come over now? Or it's bigger. Pressure to bend your values, compromise your goals, give more time, energy, even money than you're willing. Most men? They hesitate, they explain, they justify. They say yes just to keep the peace. And sure, you might win her approval for a moment, but you lose something far more valuable, her respect. Here's what women don't say out loud. They are drawn to men with a spine, not just a heart. A man with a spine says no, without apology, without explanation, just quiet, calm clarity. Because when you over-explain, you're really saying, I need you to understand me so you won't leave. That's not strength. That's insecurity in disguise. But when you simply say, no, that doesn't align with me, and stop right there, you flip the dynamic instantly. She realizes you can't be guilt-tripped. You can't be emotionally manipulated. Your peace matters more than her approval. Your standards are solid, even when she's beautiful. And that, paradoxically, that's what draws her closer. You stop being the man who melts under pressure. You become the mountain she has to climb. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your boundary isn't a wall, it's a path. It signals clearly, this is who I am. Come closer if you're aligned, step back if you're not. So here's what I want you to think about right now. Could you say no, calmly, firmly, without defending yourself? Would you trust your own standard enough to just stop at no? Drop I hold my line in the comments if this speaks to you, and hit like if you know this is exactly the mindset you needed to hear today. Because the truth is, women may test your limits, but they secretly want you to pass. A man who won't betray himself for approval, that's a man she can trust to lead. And here's the thing, even when you know how to hold your line and say no, there's still one final test of masculine power that almost every man fails. It's the moment when she's right there, close, warm, vulnerable, and most men lean in too far. But the man who masters this next move, he becomes unforgettable, because it's not about what you give, it's about what you hold back. And what I'm about to show you next will flip the entire dynamic the moment you touch her. 5. The move that leaves her wanting more. Here's what almost no man understands. Real attraction doesn't come from pouring everything into her. It comes from holding back at exactly the right moment. See, most guys think the key is always more affection, more attention, more chasing. But what actually makes you unforgettable? Restraint. That moment where you pull her close and then calmly, confidently let go. Not because you're cold, not because you're playing games, but because you're in control. That's what hits different. She feels your presence, but she also feels your freedom. Most men can't do this. They cling, they rush, they lean in too far, and lose themselves in the process. But when you hold back, when you can enjoy closeness without needing to consume it, you become the paradox that pulls her in deeper. Carl Jung said it best. Only the paradox comes anywhere near to comprehending the fullness of life. In this paradox, closeness and distance, intensity and restraint, that's where mystery lives. That's where she feels your emotional sovereignty. You're not pulling her close because you need validation. You're pulling her close because you choose to, and you let go because you choose to. That half smile before turning away, that brief pause before you exit the room, that's what lingers in her mind, not because of what you gave, but because of what you didn't. So think about this. Are you the man who can let go, calmly, right when she expects you to hold on? Would you have that discipline? Drop I hold back with purpose in the comments right now if this mindset resonates, and hit like if this point made you realize where real power actually lives. Because here's the truth, a man who can pull her close and then walk away becomes unforgettable. The final move, it's not a tactic, it's who you are. And that's exactly where we go next. Because the man who doesn't just play the game, but becomes unforgettable without even trying, that's the man she will feel long after the moment ends. 6. The shift that makes you unforgettable. There's a kind of power that needs no words. It's quiet, but unshakable. It lives in your presence, your energy, your standards, not your noise. This is what separates you from most men. Most guys talk too much, explain too much, apologize too much, all in a desperate effort to be liked. But the man she can't forget, he doesn't chase approval, he doesn't perform, he doesn't shrink himself just to be accepted. When you held your line, when you walked away calmly, when you said no without explaining, when you pulled her close, then let go. All of that was leading here, to the moment where your entire presence says, I am not here to be consumed, I am here to be respected. That's what flips the dynamic. Your absence becomes louder than anyone else's presence. Your distance feels more intimate than anyone's affection, because you didn't try to be unforgettable. You just honored yourself completely. Marcus Aurelius nailed it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. No more proving, no more performing, no more chasing. Live with discipline, move with purpose, act with clarity. Let your calm speak louder than her tests. Let your boundaries show your worth. Let your restraint spark curiosity. That's what burns a memory into her mind. Not what you give, but what you withhold. So ask yourself honestly, right now, do you just want her attention, or do you want to be the man she can't forget? If this spoke to you, drop "I am that man" in the comments, and hit like if you're ready to step into this power today. Because when you master this, you don't need her to choose you. You become the man she can't stop thinking about, even when you've already walked away. Look back at what we've covered, and you'll see something powerful. It's not about tricks, lines, or grand gestures. It's about mastering yourself. First, you learned how the silent move changes everything, holding the line when most men react. Then, you saw the quiet power of walking away with peace when she starts playing games. You understood why waiting makes you stand out, not to manipulate, but to show that your time has value. You discovered how simply saying no, calmly and without explanation, flips the dynamic and earns respect. You learned that pulling her close, then letting go, isn't distance, it's strength. And finally, you realized the real shift, becoming the man who no longer chases, but who is simply unforgettable because of how he holds himself. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about not needing approval to feel complete. It's about emotional sovereignty. So here's what I want you to think about as you leave this video. Which one of these 6 moves will you practice today? Drop your answer in the comments right now. And if this resonated, hit like and subscribe, because this journey isn't over, it's just beginning. Remember, in a world of noise, your calm becomes magnetic. In a world of men chasing attention, your silence becomes unforgettable. Stay grounded, stay powerful, and lead with presence.